Manchester City drawing at Anfield by 2-2. Meanwhile, Manchester United drew against Everton as well. As Shaka Hislop joins the conversation. Frank and Luis with us. Craig's still with us as well. Craig, am I stretching things if I'm saying now after 7 matches it's a 3-horse race?
I think yes at the moment, because I'm going to give Solskjaer and United a little bit of a minute bit of breathing space. But boy, it has to be a whole lot better. The 3 teams above them, and we talked about it yesterday on this show, the 3 teams above them have 3 quality coaches who don't always get it right, but have done in the past. There is a clear pathway in which their teams play. Sometimes it has to be adjusted, but there is a clear pathway, there's a clear pattern, there's a clear understanding from the players what is expected from each manager, and all a bit different. United are a bunch of cobbled together stars. Yep. A lot of them are stars, but they look as if they're sort of cobbled together in some sort of, throw the balls in, kind of see where they land kind of way. There's no clear pattern to play. They have, even though they're still up there at the moment with 14 points, the other 3 have all played each other. Chelsea have played the other 2. They've all played each other.
Yep.
And they're still above Man United. So they have had, games against the Newcastle, the Southampton. Yeah, they had West Ham, who are decent. They had Everton, who've had a half-decent start. But really, they've played teams, Leeds United, who they would expect to be taking maximum points. They haven't, and they've still got to play the big boys. Solskjaer, he's not quite hanging on, but he's running games coming up. He could well be if he doesn't get it sorted.
Shaka, obviously, a lot of new faces brought in the summer. Jadon Sancho, Cristiano Ronaldo, Varane as well. Is it just a case of giving these players time to gel and to work together? Or are we seeing problems exposed that Solskjaer isn't able to deal with?
Well, we felt that Solskjaer had that blind spot for quite some time. Just doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the know-how. And while those new signings may buy you some time in terms of them gelling, it adds a whole lot more pressure on the expectation. No one will accept what you heard from Solskjaer back in, around February, March time about we're not really judged on winning silverware, it's all about progress. That's not an escape clause anymore for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it's a matter of balancing all that talent in a way that delivers silverware. And Craig's right. Right now, you look at the top 4 clubs in the league, and the one department that Manchester United are lacking and trailing behind everybody else in is managerially, and that may cost them.
What's striking, Frank, compared to the Manchester United that you faced, of course, back in the day, is that you feel that still, despite all these big signings and despite all the stars that are on the pitch, every opposition going into a tie against United feel that they've got a fighter's chance.
Yes, there's many aspects that I can talk about, comparing my generation that I played against and this generation. Yes, of course, the coaching, the managing, when you compare Sir Alex Ferguson to anybody else, I don't know if you can do that. Defensively, they were very, very strong at the time, where you can find them pretty fragile still. Manchester United was a club with a formation, an academy, where you knew that young players will come in and will absolutely identify the game that the Sir Alex Ferguson wanted them to play on. Where, in fact, you see, as Craig mentioned, big players, strong players, very good talented player, but in fact, who don't play together. That's the comparison between them and the 3 other teams, where you feel that there is an identity of each team, that we are the first 3 in the table, and the 4th one who just count on the abilities of the players, and that's not enough in the Premier League. You have to have an identity of game, you have to have an identity of the way you want to play, and that's not the case for Manchester United right now.
Now, I know they did lose to Aston Villa previously, but when you try to put a run together, and I know you want to rest and rotate, but Ronaldo's bailing you out. You've got to play him.
Yeah.
Pogba, if you're a fan or not, you've got to play him. You've got to try and get these results, then take them off. The other thing that I've brought up before on the show, and I'm not apologising for repeating myself, if you look at other teams, what will stop City winning the league? We've talked about it. The reason might be
no striker.
No striker. What will stop Liverpool? Maybe heavily reliant on Salah and that defence with Van Dijk coming back out after almost a year out. What will stop City? Well, is there backup to Lukaku?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, a backup to Lukaku. Is Werner going to step up? Is Havertz going to step up? Can they rely solely on Romelu Lukaku to do it for a whole season on his own? These are the questions. None of these questions are about the manager. Nobody's saying, can any of these clubs win it with these manager? But almost everybody is saying, well, Man United have got a really good squad, maybe not quite as good as one or two of the others, but a really good squad, but have they got the manager?
Yeah.
And that's the question that a lot of people are asking, and they're asking it for a reason, because he's not in that job with resume. He's in it because he's a former player. Now, he's done okay, but Man United are not about being okay. They're about being at the top of the tree, and at the moment, with this run of games coming up, if the results go against them, they could be off the pace. But I'm going to tell you my crystal ball with what I think will happen.
Go on, Craig.
He's the type of manager to me that just gets enough results to keep the wolves from the door. And I think they'll continue to do that until it gets to a point where it's maybe just too much for the owners and the fans are maybe...
But what will that point be?
I saw them do it before, you know, just when they weren't playing well. Beat Man City a couple of times. Were completely dominated last year by City and beat them in the Cup and in the league. Just kept the wolves from the door for a little while. I think he'll do that just enough to appease the ownership, who I think don't want to make a big decision and will only make it if it's a really, really bad situation.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.